Great. So just firstly,
And I'm listening. I'm right here. Keep going.
yeah, so just I want to confirm how you spell your name.
My last name is VLK. There's no vowels in my last name.
Great. So yeah, so firstly, I just wanted to I think the first thing to talk about, I've heard that you guys have a young team. So like how many underclassmen start?
So I would have to go through that. I mean, it kind of depends on the game, but I would say anywhere between, let's say, 8 and 10 kids, 8 and 10 sophomores start at any time. So it kind of depends on the game, who we're playing, and who's healthy. But you could say at any point there could be between 8 and 10 sophomores on the field for us.
Got it. And are there any like senior leaders?
Yeah, so I mean, I could talk about our captains. I don't know if you have a copy of our roster, I can get that over to you, but our captains, our quarterback, Dylan Spadale, has been great. He actually transferred in from Fremd. His parents moved into our area, which was great. Um, and then Ryan Goretz has been a senior captain for us this year. Andrew Glenn is another one. And then we have two, Alex Brannis and Tyler Baker are both guys that have started full time since they've been sophomores. So they're both 3-year starters for us.
Got it. And who's stepped up? Like where's the experience at?
Well, I would say, the best experience really comes from, Alex Brannis and Tyler Baker, just because they have the most game experience. They both started in, 20 straight games for us through 2022 and 2023. Both times we made the playoffs both years. The one year we were 4-5, but had the most playoff points of the state, so made an at-large bid and got to play Mount Carmel first round, which I know you guys played last year. And then last year, we obviously lost a prospect in the playoffs. But those guys started and have not missed a game since they stepped on the field, their first game against Lyons Township in 2022.
Got it. You have any like standout stories about them?
The best thing about both of them, I mean, they've both been great leaders. Alex Brandis has been the leading tackler since he's been a sophomore. So he was a leading tackler as a sophomore, leading tackle as a junior, and he's right up there right now as a senior too. So he'll be on our all-time tackle list, at some point too. And Tyler Baker, from those two guys, Tyler's been a great leader, and he wants to go play football in college, but really wants to look at more of an academic type school. He wants to go pre-med. So he's looking at a lot of like really, really smart schools that have come through, like not nowhere big time, not like Northwest or anything like that, because he's not good enough for there. But he's definitely talented enough to play at a very good high academic Division III school. And then as far as other stories, I mean, our leading rusher this year is a sophomore, Matthew Kaput. So I would say that that's a really fun story for us this year. And yeah, I mean, we're just young. It's hard to say as far as any cool stories this year. There's really been nothing that really stood out that like other than just those two kids and how great they've been, and just the extensive amount of sophomores that have been starting for us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the extensive amount of sophomores, what's the like relationship like between the younger and older guys?
In the past, our older guys have always done a great job of mentoring our younger guys because they know that they need them to win. In 2021, we had one sophomore starter on the team, and it was Anthony Polano, and he went on to go play at South Dakota State last year. Um, so these guys have been exactly the same way. They really do a good job of kind of taking those kids under their wing and helping them get acclimated to the speed of varsity football, and really kind of help bring them along. And although it's been kind of fast for some of those sophomores at times, they've really done a nice job of stepping up and becoming leaders themselves within their position groups and stuff like that.
Are there any times that you've noticed upperclassmen kind of help a sophomore acclimate to the higher pace of play?
Yeah, so I mean, our offensive line is very senior dominated. We have three seniors on there, and our center is a sophomore. Joe, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name right now? Uh, don't say I forgot his name here. It's not Caputo. Oh, hold on one second. Why am I blanking on this? I'm so sorry. I feel like such an idiot right now. Um, oops.
Gadudo?
A Caduto, thank you. Yeah, I was like, what? I kept saying, so I've got another kid, Caputo, in lacrosse, and I always confuse those kids. So I want to make sure I said it right. Yeah, it's Caduto, right? So it's not, it's Caputo is lacrosse, Caduto is football. I always mix those two kids up, mix up their names. But Caduto, Joey Caduto, we gave him a pretty big responsibility as a sophomore to be our starting center, and the two guards are both captains. That's Goretz and Glenn, and they've done a nice job mentoring him and kind of helping him along.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, run me through like how you guys are feeling after the win against Wheeling and just going into this week.
Well, it always feels good to get a win. We know Prospect's a tough team, and Prospect is one of those schools that seems to just reload every year where, we have to kind of rebuild every few years. And we're just definitely in a rebuild year this year. You never want to call it a rebuild for the seniors, but, it's hard to say that it's not because last year I think we lost 18 starters. We lost 40 seniors that we had on the team. So we had great senior leadership last year. And last year I was really proud of the team because that group, most of the guys had not played football before freshman year. So we had 5 all conference players last year. 4 had not played football before their freshman year. And, our quarterback last year had not played football before freshman year, Peyton Diaz, and he ended up being like 3rd on the all-time passing list. 2 of our nose guard last year, Caden Watson, who's now at West Point just for school, not for football, but just at West Point, super smart kid. 4.0 GPA kid. He had not played football. Vuk Dakovic had not played football before. So those kids had a great work ethic and really did a nice job just kind of buying in and growing up along the way where, this group, because we're starting so many young guys, we really had to try to find a way to, acclimate not just them, but some of the seniors that hadn't gotten a lot of playing time as juniors, right? So, the acclimatization to the speed of varsity football was tough because it wasn't just a few kids this year. It was majority of the team because majority of the team was playing JV football last year, So we had a lot of seniors that don't have that varsity experience because they weren't on the field last year.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you talk about a rebuild year. I mean, what's been like the story of your season so far?
The story of our season is well, I mean, there's a lot of different storylines. Like we're getting construction on our practice fields, and our new practice fields are going to look great, but there's been no space for us to go, especially with soccer and girls football now being a thing at Buffalo Grove. So we've actually had to go in the mornings. So our practices we've actually been practicing at 6 o'clock in the morning. We actually start around 5:50 in the morning, and the kids have been coming in every day. Despite our record, and despite the record not being good, we've had great attendance in the morning. So the kids have been coming in for practice because that's the only time that we have space to practice and actually have access to the field. Between, like I said, soccer, girls flag football, underlevel soccer games, underlevel football games, and things like that. So the less part of the space or the less space that we've had has been tough. So we told the kids, hey, our options are to go in the morning or late at night, and the kids chose the morning. So they've been a great job. Like I said, most kids get here at 5:30 in the morning. I hold the doors open. They come in, get changed, they're on the field for pre-practice at 5:45, and then we rock and roll and get going before the day even really gets started.
Yeah, I mean, like with playoff hopes behind, what are you guys looking to do this week?
Well, the message I gave our kids was I just want them to compete, right? I don't care. I know Prospect's a good team. Prospect's obviously going to win the conference. Obviously beating Hersey, that was kind of the two teams that were battling it out. And we didn't think we'd be in the conference hunt this year, but we thought our record would be a little bit better. We lost some close games, early on. I think Rolling Meadows was 28-13. Elk Grove was a 7-point loss. So games that we were in, but we just didn't have the experience to come through. So, telling the seniors that they had an opportunity to win their last game at home that they ever played was really nice. Because we actually hadn't gotten a home win yet this year. So they got to win their last game at home, which is great. And then to go out and battle against Prospect last game of the season. And, we just want our kids to compete. And that's what we preach at Buffalo Grove, because we don't always have the most talent. We don't always have Division I scholarship athletes. Since I've been the head coach over 9 years, we've only had 2 scholarship athletes come through here, where Prospect seems to have 3 or 4 each year on the team, where so you're playing with a different deck of cards. But we've always been competitive, and Coach DeBuff and I have a lot of respect for each other. So I think that he knows we're to come out, our kids will be prepared, and we'll compete.
Yeah, got it. And lastly, are there any injuries that you guys have right now?
Nothing major. No, we got a few bumps and bruises like everyone else, but no major injuries, to any starters or anything like that. So we're fairly healthy.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, thank you. That's
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome, man. Good talking to you.
you too.
Later.